got those long shots. He's big. He's lean. He catches the ball. He's gone. I mean, sign that up. It was his birthday? Producer Dalton with a fun fact.
Yep.
That was his birthday on Saturday.
And info.
I feel terrible that I didn't text him happy birthday, but that's unbelievable. What a birthday present to him and what a birthday present to us for his own birthday.
We'll take it.
What a nice guy.
Take it.
Everybody loves Dante.
Yep.
More steam. We're back. Season's over. Wrap the regular season.
There we go.
We're into the playoffs, baby.
10-2. The Vols are in. Vols are in. I can say that with like 100% confidence.
100% confidence.
Vols are in.
Before we go too far, as always, I'm Will Watkins.
I'm Thomas Wharton. And if you're watching and you're like, man, it looks like they got a completely new set. You're kind of right. Not really. Still the same store. And the reason why we've shuffled some things around, not because we want to put in extra work, because we don't, but we have an event tonight.
That's true. It's coming out on Wednesday. Hoops for the holidays.
Hoops and holidays. We have the vast majority of the basketball team. Zakai Ziegler.
Uh-huh.
Chaz Lanier.
I'm not going to know any of this information, so this is news to me. You're telling me. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Keep going.
JP Estrella.
Love it.
Cam Carr.
Love it.
Everybody else, basically, kind of. I mean, basically, they're going to be here tonight. You can buy tickets right here, volclub.com, and it's an autograph signing. Get a poster that we made for you. You can get it signed. You can meet all your favorite players for the basketballs after a nice dub for Syracuse. We are shooting this before the Vols tip off tonight against Syracuse. I'm going to say it. After a nice dub against Syracuse. Come hang out with me.
Today is also signing day, which is why I don't know anything that's going on other than football.
Today is also signing day.
So, excited to see everybody tonight.
Rocky Top 25.
Probably be here at some point, I'm sure.
I'll be here. You can come hang out
Thomas
with me, producer Dalton, and the vast majority of the men's basketball team. If that's not enough for you to come buy a ticket right here, volclub.com, I don't know what is.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Football.
Yeah. Back to it.
Football.
This is not a basketball show.
Not yet. We will see.
Yeah. See how that goes.
So here we go. We're in the playoffs because we took care of business.
Yes.
Vanderbilt game. We had to go to Nashville, had to take care of business, and we did.
Yes.
So love to see it.
In typical Vols fashion, we didn't do it just comfortably. We didn't just go in there and roll them. We actually had to, have some anxiety.
Buddy, I was not happy.
It was were you in Nashville?
No, I didn't go.
I was fortunate enough to go to the game. 11 a.m. kick Central Time. 11 a.m. is too early to absolutely lose your mind. Like, I was not even awake yet. I had one coffee. Normally it takes me about 2 to be really, primed and ready to go for the day. I'm not awake yet. We're down 14-0. I'm like, this is not fun. I came here to have fun. This is not fun.
I missed the first play. We were doing Thanksgiving with my family. I was going back for a second helping of a plate, and I was like, they're about to kick off. Come down. It's 7-0. I was like, what happened?
What did we do? Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
He didn't even get touched. It was just to the house.
You know what?
But
hindsight didn't matter.
No, it did not.
But at the time, I was really, really upset. I was yelling at everybody. There's somebody not in his lane. It was very clear. I won't name names or numbers, but we got to do better on that one. But it got worse after that. Then come out, we fumble, and they go down, and they score. And we are just, I'm panicking. Full panic mode.
Yep.
I'm like, we're going to lay an egg here. We're going to miss the playoffs. Everything's crumbling. My life is over.
Yep. We're so close, yet so far.
But thankfully,
14-0 far.
Thankfully, Nico and the boys settle in.
Oh my gosh.
Start taking care of business.
Did he?
I thought it was Nico's best game.
Without a doubt. The ease at which it looked like he was playing, he settled in, kind of got that swagger back to him. I love when Nico gets in the face of those defenders, starts just talking
talk. Let's
go. That's what I'm saying.
Let's go.
Can we do that in the first play? Because eventually that kind of stuff does tend to, bite you in the end. But come firing. Let's go.
I love it. I was here for it. I'm screaming when he's screaming at the guy. I'm screaming at the guy. Yeah. My wife's yelling at me. She's like, "You're going to teach our child bad things." And I'm like, I didn't say anything bad.
Passion.
Who knows?
Teaching and passion.
Yeah, it's passion for the Vols, which we all have.
Yeah.
I can't get away from it. Let's dive into our predictions.
Okay.
See where we hit, see where we missed. Somebody missed bad.
And somebody hit huge.
Let's dive into Nico. Yeah. First things first. We kind of crushed that one a little bit.
That was awesome.
Like one of our better predictions in a while, and we undersold him, which is great.
Love that.
Usually it's oversell. This one was an undersell. You had him at 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. 240 touchdowns. Whoa. 240 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I have him at 215 and 3 touchdowns. Finished with 257 and 4 touchdowns.
How about that?
Again, I'll heap all the praise on him.
Great day fantastic for QB1.
He
slow start.
the scrambling, the movement. You know, he was doing the thing like from his high school tape. He would like dip under and kind of look smooth, roll out and throw it. He was doing that. He looked every bit of the prospect we thought we were getting.
Awesome.
I love to see it. Couldn't be happening at a better time.
No.
Big games coming up. If he's hitting his stride with our defense,
Just saying.
sign me up.
I'm just saying.
Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
You had him at 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. I have him at 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. 178 yards.
And he was hurt.
Yikes.
And he was hurt.
Kid's a monster.
I mean, prayers up for him. I hope. I think it looked like a hamstring. I'm not. This is.
Saw him
I'm just-
today at the facility. He's walking okay.
He's doing fine.
Yeah,
There you
He
go.
looks like he's good.
You heard it here first. Injury report from Will Watkins.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. 100, dang near. I'll just round up, say 180 yards on a
On a bad leg.
bad hammy.
180 yards on one leg. Not bad.
When your team
Didn't
needs
score.
you most, to. Yeah, didn't score first game this year. Fun fact.
Shocked by that, honestly.
Yeah, they tried
Yep.
towards the end.
Yep.
I think it was fourth quarter.
Try
it
to
was
punch it in.
I mean, I think Hype could have gotten on the PA system and said, "We're handing it off." And I mean, it is what it is at that point.
It is what it is.
But
All right, so you had Brew at 75 yards and a touchdown.
yes.
That was tough because did not play.
Yeah, no snaps for the kid. And this is one of those things, I'm not a massive sports bettor. I don't think you are either. And if your player gets hurt and doesn't play, they kind of just nullify it.
Nullifies.
So can we
you voided it
nullify
out.
a prediction?
Sure.
Void?
Yeah, we'll void that.
Void it.
Yeah, void that one out.
I didn't know
Void.
he was hurt, all right? And you would think if anyone's going to have an inside scoop on anything, might be me. No.
Nope, didn't know. It was shocking to me.
Yeah.
In brighter news,
Yes.
the curse is broken.
We exchange texts frequently about 2 people.
Yep.
2 people. People that you know because we talk about it all the time. The first is Jerron McCoy, and
Yep.
we can talk about him in a second. Second is Dante, because my friend Will Watkins here is an avid not Dante predictor. Doesn't like to do it because we think we're cursed. Well,
think I cursed it.
guess what that first text was Saturday morning. The curse is broken.
Curse is
it's
broken.
over.
Unbelievable.
We're predicting Dante the rest of the year. He is, not me.
I will be. I'm riding the Dante
How
train.
about that?
Unbelievable.
I mean, we got Dante out of the portal last year.
Yep.
Thought he was going to be this stud of an athlete, jump out of the gym, run super fast. He's doing that.
Yep.
A little bit delayed. That's fine.
It's fine.
Again, peaking at the right time.
I'll take
it.
All day. I mean, I had him at 5 catches, 121 yards and a touchdown. He exceeded even my expectations
Yeah.
because he had 3 catches, 118 yards and 2 touchdowns and missed a bunch of the game.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, the guy was going to go for a record day. But sounds like he'll be back and he's all good. So I'll take it.
So that was almost like
save
a
him for the
Randy
playoffs.
Moss Thanksgiving stat line.
So close. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
it is artistic the way he looks running on a football field. He's got those long strides. He's big. He's lean. He catches the ball. He's gone. I mean, sign that up. It was his birthday. Producer Dalton with a fun fact.
Yep.
That was his birthday on
Stats and
Saturday.
info.
I feel terrible that I didn't text him happy birthday, but that's unbelievable. What a birthday present to him and what a birthday present to us for his own birthday.
We'll take it.
What a
We
nice
will
guy.
take it.
Everybody loves Dante.
Yep.
Let's get into the ones that we didn't do so well.
Defense is just, it's bad.
We're so bad at it.
Defense is really bad.
You had turns on 5 tackles and an interception.
Yep.
He finished with 1 tackle, 2 assists,
Oh, okay. Well,
according to what I saw.
round
So
up to 3.
We'll give you 3.
Yeah.
I had Boo at 4 tackles and a punt return touchdown. 1 tackle. Hey, you know what?
Happens. Happens.
I don't know. Just rolling dice at this point,
Happens.
shooting shots. Who knows? We were so bad at those. Score predictions, though. You had 34-14. I had 42-17. 36-23. We're pretty close.
And you take away the special teams touchdown, I almost kill it. Like that's almost spot on.
You almost got it.
I mean,
I'll take it. You know,
Yeah.
close enough. Got the win.
it's a win.
At the end of the day, all that matters is we won.
Double-digit wins, man.
You mentioned it a while ago, and I definitely want to talk about it. Jamad McCoy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Superhuman.
that
Superhuman.
interception is
The
unbelievable.
transfer portal is a polarizing topic because there's a lot of good that can come from it and there's a whole lot
true.
of bad. And we, as Tennessee Vols, have seen it both.
Correct.
We've seen transfers we think are going to be great and they're not. And we've seen transfers that we think are going to be bad and they're great. Well, Jermon is neither of those. He came and we're like, this dude's going to be really good. And guess what? Really good. Should be first team All SEC. I don't
be.
think that's a hot take.
I think he should be first team All-American.
Well, there's that. Probably also not a hot take.
I mean, he's leading
One
the
of-
SEC in interceptions.
One of the most athletic plays I've ever seen in my life. People are like, "Oh, the ball," he had the awareness to land on his stomach and roll around, and the ball falls in. Well, the reason why the ball was tipped is because the guy caught the touchdown.
Yep.
That was a great throw.
Great throw.
That was a
Great play.
phenomenal throw from a subpar quarterback.
Yep.
And he go in there, like, I don't know if he tapped it this way or I don't know. I've watched it 100 times. Still doesn't make any sense. Not humanly possible. Deflects the ball, lands on his stomach, turns around, and is like, "Oh, there's my ball." Gets in, and my boy Willie Brooks is there to dab him up. And it's like,
Love
this
it.
is the
Love it.
Oh my gosh,
It's one of the best clips.
momentum changer for the game too.
He has 4 interceptions. 3 of them have come within the 3-yard line for the opponent.
Yeah,
The guy's just like, "Oh, you think you're gonna score? No, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna take that away from you."
dude.
Like different interceptions are not all the same, and his are game changing.
goal line stands. Like, I mean,
unbelievable.
just changing the tempo of the game.
Unbelievable. You just literally stealing points from the other team. I love it. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Dramati. He's been unbelievable. Other than that, like the game itself, we talked about the bad start. Oh, producer Dalton's gonna have to do some jumping jacks. Talked about the bad start, but I could not have asked for more out of this game.
No,
You just roll in, you take care of business. You're winning from the moment you come back from the bad start. You start taking care of business, and you just beat them like you're supposed to. Like it was unbelievable. I love it.
I think I talked about it when we were doing stat predictions of where I thought it was, Nico wasn't going to throw for 300 yards because I thought we were going to run the ball. And like when we needed to, when we got the lead, I mean, Dante, obviously 2 massive touchdowns
Correct.
through the air, but then you hit that fourth quarter and it was just like, we're going to beat you and beat you and beat you and like impose your will. And Deshaun Bishop ran great.
Ran great.
When
Good to see him
Dylan had
back.
100%, when Dylan had to come out, it's like, when a team like that, like Vandy, comes out and punches you in the mouth, and that's exactly what they did.
100%.
You can keep giving them opportunities.
100%.
Like Jermon making that play. If that guy catches a touchdown, like it's a grind of a game. You are in it for the long haul.
Yes.
But when you are the more talented team by a long shot, I mean, Vandy talent-wise is not comparable to Tennessee.
Yeah.
But the difference between their win over Alabama earlier this year and then the game on Saturday was Bama was just like, here's another chance. Here's another chance.
We'll let you keep staying in the game. And to Pavia's credit, he's a grinder. He's a gamer. So you give him enough
100%.
chances, he'll make some stuff happen.
And we just shut the door.
Yeah, we're like,
we
nah,
just shut
we're
the
good.
door. Exactly.
No, thank you. Not today.
Smart, keep away football, run the ball up your face. They just can't do it.
Yeah, I loved like Dylan had the fumble, and like next drive, you go right back to him.
Yep.
You're just like, hey, you're a guy, you're the leader. Just go do what you do.
That's all it is.
We're not worried about you. Just here it is. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Go in there.
That's how you play with the lead.
100%.
That's how you play with the lead.
100%. I don't want to spend too much time on Vandy because it's Vandy. But it was a great cap off to the season of everything we kind of talked about. Defense looked really good outside of the, couple things here and there, but they kind of dominated in a lot of ways. And then the offense just did what they were supposed to. They started to look together, pulled it all together, and had, I think, their best game.
I think, I don't know, maybe we'll get the clip up here. The play that defined the second half for me is Pavia's rolling out and Will Brooks kind of makes like an arm tackle, kind of stands him up a little bit. And then we have 3 linemen, 2 D linemen and Arian Carter, massive human beings, just pile drive him into the ground. And he took a little bit to get up. He wasn't down for too long, but it wasn't a pop right back up. And I was like, that is Tennessee Vols football. That is what
you dream about.
100%. That's what, we're going to talk about our playoff brackets and predictions. That's how you make a run 100%. Is you play that type of defense. 100%. And then, you get a Dante Thornton deep ball game.
We'll talk about it in a minute. I don't love the draw that I think we're going to get from a standpoint, but in the playoffs, anything can happen. And if our defense is playing like that, if Nico's starting to put together like this, I mean, there's always a chance. That's why you play the games. So
get in the dance, man.
Get in the dance. Which, speaking of the dance, let's talk playoffs.
Let's do it.
Let's talk playoffs.
Let's do it.
We're going to cut for just a second. We'll be right back. We're going to pull out a fancy whiteboard because we are high tech. Here we go. All right.
We're back.
We are back. It's playoff talk.
It's playoff talk. And boy, do we have a graphic for you.
Look how high tech we are.
This is so great.
On ESPN, they have like smart boards.
Yep.
No, that's not our
where
budget.
they can morph a player into it and have him move,
they
but
can
the rest
slide
of the
around like election out there just smooth.
No, we have Sharpie.
Nope, not Sharpie. Dry erase.
Dry erase.
I hope. Okay, yeah, we're good.
dry erase, and
we're good.
and a whiteboard.
I got real nervous.
And I'm proud of it. I'll say I'm proud of it. We're gonna start from the top. So there are gonna be some conference championship game implications on these seeds. Obviously, the Vols are not playing in it. Honestly, thankfully, I'd love me an SEC championship, but I love more that we are solidified in the playoff.
That's all I care about.
Start at the top, maybe.
Start at the top. Our 1 seeds are the same.
Yes.
Oregon, we think, obviously, clearly, I think they're going to take care of business in the championship game against Penn State.
I think so too. They're the best team in football. They have been all year.
Agree.
I think high-powered offense, veteran quarterback, defense that plays
Good.
complementary football, solid head coach. Enough said. Move on.
Yep.
2 is where we differ.
Yep. Got a little difference here. So you think Texas is going to beat Georgia?
It's hard to beat a good team twice.
It's fair. That's fair.
That's a very football guy term, but neutral site, which it's not really neutral site, definitely leans towards the Dogs being in Atlanta. But I mean, Texas has a massive fan base, one of the biggest brands in college football. I think they get it done. It's going to be a good game.
So you think Texas is going to win?
Do. That's why I have them down. See, 2 seed right here.
Yeah, his bracket, my bracket, to be clear. I got UGA. I'm not betting against Kirby and the Dogs. Like, they're the one, I think they've got more experience in the postseason as a coach. I think, end of the day, Texas is good, but they didn't play anybody.
It's true.
I ain't played nobody, Paul.
Ain't played nobody.
I ain't played nobody, Paul. I got UGA taking care of business. I'll bet on the team that's been there more often, more frequently. But I think it's a good game. And I think either way, I would actually love for Texas to win because I think that could help us out. You didn't have it help us out. But I think theoretically, in my mind, if UGA were to lose, maybe we're not sitting there. Maybe we bump to a 7, maybe a 6. So we'll see what shakes out there. But that one's interesting and different. The other 2 buys, the ones that are the guaranteed conference champions get buys. So the top 4 ranked conference champions get a bye. We're the same. We think Boise takes care of it against UNLV this weekend, and we think Arizona State takes care of Iowa State.
Which is absolute chaos, if you ask me, because I'm all about meaningful conference championship games. I think that's something to be proud of, even though I just said I'm happy we're not playing in the SEC championship.
So I didn't say that.
Right. Which is, I know I'm kind of eating my words, but it's like, you should be rewarded if you win the game. I don't know to that extent and to that extent. ASU is a fun team to watch. Arizona State is a fun team to watch.
Love me some Dillingham.
Yeah.
Love me some Dillingham.
But yeah, so we'll see. Mountain West champ, top 3 seed in the new college football playoff format.
You know what it really says a lot about? ACC sucks.
Yeah.
ACC sucks.
Yeah. And we have those implications too. But
to be fair, the committee said last year they don't respect the ACC at all.
They did. So that's a
we are
fact.
just reflecting that they don't care about them.
We're intelligent people. This is not emotional by any means. This is logical. We put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, we definitely didn't do it 5 minutes before.
Not at all. No.
I guess if SMU wins, they would theoretically be the higher. They would take one of the buys, but we both think they're going to lose.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So if SMU wins, which is my 11, in which is your.
They're not in there, buddy.
They're not even on here. Wow. Okay. So if SMU wins, that likely bumps Arizona State down. Boise's your 4, and they're your 3.
I think that's the way it's going to work.
Okay. Interesting.
It doesn't matter because they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Clearly, we both said that.
Yeah.
I think they lose so bad that they're not even in the playoff. So
that's a wild concept.
Bold strategy. But I think they're sitting at like 11 currently in the rankings. So it's not far-fetched to think if they lose, they drop, 14, 15th in the country, and I think they're out at that point.
Sure.
I think you're sitting outside the playoff. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, we'll know a lot more tomorrow on all of this.
Yes, as the rankings come out.
So we're sitting here, or tonight, actually. We're recording on Tuesday tonight.
Yes, we
so
are.
tonight we will find
messed up.
Tonight, I know I'm so confused, but we'll find out tonight. So SMU's 9 currently. So I think, if you're starting to add teams in, if they lose,
borderline,
you're going to be right there on the cusp. Maybe they still sneak in, to your point, like at 11 or maybe probably a 12. If I were you, I would have flipped those because they're probably not going to rank Clemson behind them if they beat them.
It's weird. It's a strange concept. I know, but there's a whole debacle, and I don't think, if you think logically, none of it makes sense how they rank anybody. To be honest with you, we had a 1-loss Penn State ahead of a undefeated Indiana with basically identical strength of schedules all year, and now it's. I don't know.
Well, again, nobody knows. Again, the committee doesn't know.
A lot of thought and data has been put into these, so just know that. Okay.
Where are we going now?
We're at the 5.
We're at 5 and 12.
So you got Notre Dame.
It's the Notre Dame spot.
That's fair.
But they've been for the entire season calling it the easiest path to the championship was the 5. Everybody talked about it. Notre Dame doesn't qualify for an automatic bye because they're not in a conference.
Yep.
So everyone said that the 5 is the Notre Dame spot. So I put them in the Notre Dame spot.
That's fair.
I actually am very excited. If this is the play, I think a Notre Dame Clemson game will be very fun.
Yeah.
So you got Catholics versus the team that was built in God's image. So that'll be really fun.
God's name imaging like this.
Yep.
That'll be an interesting concept because you get a Clemson team who is all but washed at this point.
Yeah.
Just stumbling into their conference championship and by both of our predictions, winning the game against a Notre Dame team who everyone is like, oh, they're super great, but they lost to a JV football team. So,
I'm going to stick up for Notre Dame for just a second. This doesn't happen very often. They lost a bad game. They've looked really good ever since.
True.
They're not playing anybody, but they've looked really good.
They're rolling. I have Penn State at 5. I think this is based off of the assumption. I have no idea how they're going to treat the conference championship game losers.
I agree. And I don't think anybody does. I was listening to the Unnecessary Roughness, the Barstool College Football podcast, and they're talking about it, and they're having this big debate. Should you get punished for losing that game? Some are saying no, you earned the right to be there. You shouldn't get punished. But my thing is, you got to play the game.
Yeah.
If you roll into a conference championship game and get rolled, you should get punished. I'm not saying drop you out, even though I did drop SMU out necessarily. But, if you lose that game and you were already in safely, Georgia, you shouldn't drop them out. It's not like they should go all the way out because you still got to play there, but you should lose seeding. If you lose a game, it should matter.
Which is fair.
Why play it then?
Good point. Good point. I agree with everything you just said. If they're in before the game and they lose a respectable game, then you shouldn't be out. But how does it affect teams that didn't play? Because that's where it's you have a Penn State who I believe right now is ranked 4th or 3rd.
Third, I think.
Third,
in the top 5.
Composite, not bracket, composite. And if they lose, well, does that give you Notre Dame an excuse? Yeah, they're 4th. Stats and Info is on fire right now.
Crushing.
Does that give the Notre Dame people oh, well, they lost, so we're ahead? It's well, you didn't do anything. And you never were going to do anything this week. And this is a bye for you.
I think they do.
Interesting.
If we're sitting here and they're 4, Notre Dame's, I think, 5 currently in the rankings. So if you lose, you can't just stay still. You got to drop them a little bit. You got to drop them something. You got to have a punishment.
That's the interesting
part.
That's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what their choices are with Penn State, assuming they lose, and then if those choices are consistent.
Yep.
Because I have Georgia at 6, right?
Fair.
Which they're 7 right now. They are 7. Oh, I'm on fire now too. Let's go. They're at 7. They play Texas, who's 4, 3.
Texas is 3.
They're 3. Yep. They lose. So, I don't know. Definitely not a lot of data went into that one. But
I've got them. It's interesting. We have essentially the SEC championship games.
Sorry, we're closed.
Flipping. Flip. Always a fun time when we're filming more stadium. I think this is a good spot for Texas to fall.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
That's why I think it's interesting. If yours happens, did they fall further? Because right now they're one spot. It's similar to what we just talked about. They're one spot ahead of us. But if they lose, you should drop them below us. Mm-hmm. So how does that impact our seeding? Logically, again, if you're be in the game and you lose the game, you have to have a punishment. Otherwise, why are you playing it? Exactly. It can't be only the winners get rewarded.
And the losers are just kind of
doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
So that one, I'm very interested to see how they play that out because this is the first time we've really had to deal with that, obviously, first year of the 12. So that'll be something that we'll know moving forward. But I think this is an interesting game. I think if this happens in yours, Georgia couldn't be happier with the 6th seed here.
Oh my gosh. No, they've knocked it absolutely out of the park. Especially if that 3 seed holds and that's Boise.
Yeah.
Because you
give me that path all day.
100%.
We're in the bracket of death over here and they're getting this nice little cakewalk.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that all the way. All right. I got to talk about my 6-11.
Go for it. Come on.
South Carolina. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Are you an idiot? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. My wife would tell you I am. My rationale here, they have a really good win last week against Clemson. Mm-hmm. Clemson goes in the ACC championship game and wins. It's a very quality win, and it just happened. Mm-hmm. So will the committee reward recency bias? I think yes. I also think it's more likely that if that all happens, this is Alabama, but I cannot bring myself to put Alabama in this playoff.
Yeah.
I also think they're the hot team right now. Everybody's talking about how well they're playing. Maybe the committee wants to put the hot team in. I don't know.
They're the hot commodity, and I'll pull this from Twitter. They're the anti-Florida State. They're the opposite of Florida State, meaning they are better because their quarterback is playing and because he's healthy and he's leading them to be better than they are on paper. Where Florida State, undefeated ACC champ, no quarterback, everyone's like, they suck.
I agree.
And we'll never know if they actually.
Definitely not because they are currently plus 400 to make the playoff. Doesn't matter at all.
Not at all.
Wishful thinking here. But I think tonight when we get the rankings, depending on where they are, like if the committee goes, your win against Clemson was really good, we're going to jump you to 10 and Alabama's at 11, then how does Alabama jump them?
They can't.
So I think we'll know today. And
absolutely.
That'll be the really telling thing.
You said it multiple times just now. You got to play the game.
Got to play the game.
And South Carolina and Bama, they played.
I know.
And I hate Bama just as much as the next guy. Not a fan. But.
Well, you played. He's got to
played. I saw something too.
That said,
go ahead.
2 years ago when we played Alabama.
I know. Doesn't make any sense.
Didn't matter to the committee.
Correct.
So I'm trying to apply committee logic to this as much as I can.
And by committee logic, 100%. I agree. But it's like they said a 2-point win at home, which is Bama beat them 27-25, was a non-factor because it was at home. It wasn't a convincing, it wasn't like an actual win. I was like, they won the game.
What do you mean it's not a win?
Look at the record. If they lost the game, then you're 8-4. Then the timers are getting worse.
We're on a short time here.
This is something. You're getting the full More Steam experience.
Yeah, this is what we do.
Maybe next year we'll have a Josh Pate studio. Had the whole lights in the back.
You start wearing the t-shirt every day?
I could.
I mean, I might have to.
I could. I need to get a few more.
Yeah, I gotta get in the gym.
Where are we now?
So
7.
We just talked here. So let's talk 10 and 7. So the last one. We both have Indiana at 10. I think it's fair. It feels like they're kind of locked in there based on everything because they're better clearly than the teams that'll be 11 and 12, but they can't really do anything to jump into the other teams.
I agree. I don't know how much the committee is going to factor in conference matchups. They shouldn't.
No.
I think they should be seeded based off where they should be seeded. But if they're like, should we put Penn State at 6 or 7? Oh, if we put them at 7, they're going to play a conference. I don't care. They didn't play in the regular season. Let them play.
I think I think we both have it. It seems like it's going to be 4. You have 2 ACC. I have 4 Big Ten, 4 SEC. It's going to be impossible, I think, to just numbers wise. Somebody's going to have to play a conference team. So I actually have 2, I'm realizing. But, I mean, maybe they take that into consideration and they flip something around. But, maybe they do that to try to avoid that.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I mean, there's so many teams from those 2 conferences. You're going to inevitably have to play somebody in your conference to get there one way or the other.
Without a doubt. I put Notre Dame at 7. I think the committee hasn't shown this bias yet, but I think the emphasis placed on conference championship winners is kind of that. As soon as that came out last July, that was a slight to Notre Dame. They're like,
I agree with that.
Only these top 4 are conference championship winners. So Notre Dame's like, what'd you say about me, right?
That's why I thought they had the Notre Dame spot, but I agree.
Which is fair. So
they should be punished or penalized. I was trying to say both those words.
There you go.
Punished and penalized for not being in a conference.
And I agree. And I think based off how they work with conference championship game losers, they might slide them to there. And it's like, hey, if you don't want this to happen, join the ACC.
Or a real conference like the Big Ten.
Or the Big Ten. That's probably more likely.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. But
they did ACC for basketball, didn't they?
That's true. They did. During COVID, I think they started, right? Something like that.
Oh, well. So that's my rationale. We both got Indiana locked in.
Yeah, I think
that's going to be a good game, too.
I think as I'm looking at all these, I like all these games. It's interesting, with the guaranteed buys. I think all of our opening games are more exciting to me than a couple of the second round games.
Without a doubt.
I'd much rather see Clemson and Notre Dame than Clemson versus Arizona State or Notre Dame versus Arizona State.
Which the previous playoff model for everyone was like, oh, it's the top 4 teams. Duh, they're going to be good games. A lot of blowouts. Not a lot of good games. So if they hit this out of the park and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on opening weekend and get 3 on that Saturday, that's going to be insane.
I'm excited about it. I think, people already complain about the 12 team. It should not have gone to 12 or it should go to 16. I don't know.
People are never happy. Just
more football.
More football, yay.
In this scenario, we both have us hosting. That's what I need. My biggest fear is that we don't jump or they don't put Ohio State behind us. we're going to Columbus. It's fine. We'll go up there. We'll play them. We'll win. Shout out to the Vols. But I want a game in Neyland, and I like this. I'm so excited about the possibility of it. If we have to go to Columbus and play them, or if we have to go to Penn State or whatever, so be it.
So be it.
We'll get on the bus. I mean, I don't think they do that anymore. They'll fly. They'll go on the plane. They'll go wherever.
There will be a bus somewhere.
Anybody,
Probably
anywhere.
Plane to bus to plane, plane to bus.
Vols versus everybody.
Yeah.
If it were me and I'm looking at these brackets, I don't know how we're not national champions.
I don't know either.
Sign it up.
Obviously, so 8's not really where you want to be.
8 might be the worst spot to be.
You want to be 8 over 9, obviously.
You want to host.
But I like that one better. I just don't see how we rise. We're in a tough spot of there's a lot that could happen behind us, but it's like it just depends. It depends on how they handle this guy and the loser of SEC.
Personally, I'm praying we either jump to 6.
That'd be huge.
Or
gosh, that'd be huge.
If we could flip it all around and maybe this isn't an SEC team, fall to 11. Like I want to play one of these guys.
Yes.
In the next one.
Yes.
Like that sounds like a real
gotta
fun
win the first one.
Gotta win the first one.
But I would love to see our defense against either of those running backs.
100%.
I mean, they haven't seen that.
He ain't played nobody. I mean, he played Oregon. Hey,
you got on here our very first episode and we're like, best running back in the nation.
And he is.
That was 3 studios ago.
Until he plays here. And then I'm going to say he's terrible because that's what we do here.
Yes, that's what we do.
At the end of the day, this is where our prediction is. We're going to look like morons tonight when the rankings come out and it's all wrong. But guess what? Next week, we'll come in and we'll know, and we will talk about it then.
Exactly.
So I'm excited about it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So more Steam playoff edition. Tune in next week for even more playoff talk, and we'll know our opponent, and we're going to break down that game, what that matchup looks like. If you need to know about the Vols, this is where you are.
It's right here. And if we haven't proved that to you already, you haven't watched enough episodes. If you're not doing anything tonight, well, if you're watching this on Wednesday, you're not doing anything tonight. Hoops and Holidays, man. It's the place to be.
Come by here.
We'll go to Chivo after.
We're in the Christmas spirit. I'm not going to Chivo, but he'll go to Chivo. I love Chivo. I'm just not going to dinner after that. I'm going home to go to bed.
That's fair.
I have children.
I don't.
Shout out to my mom, Mama Watkins. She's mad if I don't shout her out. So shout out to my mom.
It's fine.
Shout out to my wife.
All the moms.
So we love the family. My wife says I don't ever talk about her. So on here,
I think
that's what I said. I was like, I definitely have. She's like, you talked about your mom, you talked about Cooper, but like, you ever talk about me? And I was like,
I don't want to get mad at me. I won't.
You do not want Chelsea on your
I
bad
don't
side.
want to disagree, but I also want to agree with you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stay out of this.
Yeah. Watch out. You do not want marital problems at home. It's
no, I don't.
Happy wife, happy life. That's what I'm saying. That's
a good lesson.
So, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Steamers. We will see you guys next week. Have fun.
Go Vols.